everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Rule of Two podcast, a podcast where we talk about anything and everything Star Wars. I am your host, Aaron Richland, and with me, guys, a special person is with me today, Sean Ritter. What's up, dude?
Yo, what up, bro?
How, it's been about a week since, close to a week since our last recording, and, I haven't seen you. I haven't seen pretty much anybody.
Nope.
How are you holding up?
I'm doing all right. I haven't seen anybody in like almost 2 weeks now, man. Well, except for like video chat, and then when you walk by my window.
Yeah, I flip you off all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, the video chats. It's been very helpful for me.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to go through this shit without technology.
Oh my god. Yeah. What a time to have an a pandemic. Where we're able to actually do these things and communicate, even though you're literally just a few doors down.
I know, dude.
But
you imagine, like, I don't know, like during the time of the Great Depression, if this shit was going on.
No, I can't. I mean, shit. 20 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of video chats going on.
That's true. That's
Might have been a
true.
few.
It wasn't anything like it is today.
We're here to bring some good news, some positivity into your lives in such a trying time, and we're going to be talking about Clone Wars Episode 5, Season 7, Episode 5.
That's right, Clone Wars Episode 5, Gone with a Trace,
which is interesting because generally when you're gone, you want to be gone without a trace.
Right. However, it's with a trace because one of the characters in this episode's name is Trace.
Trace. Yeah. And also, I think it to me, it also shows, I don't know, I called this out when we were watching it. It's because Ahsoka's back, finally. We finally see Ahsoka. Episode 5, over almost a third of the way through, probably. And we finally get to see Ahsoka. But I find it, a contrast to, like, the Ahsoka book, which is post Order 66, which makes sense, where she's, changing her name and doesn't want to show her Jedi talents because she doesn't want to get killed, right? Whereas now she's using her actual name and leaving a bit of a trace. I think it kind of has a double meaning there.
Right. She's not completely trying to hide herself as being a Jedi. I mean, she is a little bit, obviously, but there was definitely an instance where we see her show her Jedi side.
Yeah, and we'll get to that a little bit later on because that was kind of later in the episode. The subtitle this week is "If There Is No Path Before You, Create Your Own." Very topical for Ahsoka, if you ask me.
Yep.
She's literally creating her own path.
Yep. It basically sums up her life right now. She left the Jedi Order, and she's going to go do her own thing because she didn't believe in what the Jedi were doing, which I guess it's about time, right?
Yeah, and they kind of get into a little bit of that. So, like we said, first off, it starts with Ahsoka. Started off with the scene. I think they showed it off at Celebration last year, where she's going down and she's in Coruscant on that speeder bike.
I think that's when it was. Yeah.
Which I don't know if they mentioned this in the preview, but it's Coruscant definitely. She's going down this tunnel thing, and she lands on a little launch pad. And this new individual comes up, meets Trace, as you mentioned, and she mentions that, she says, what I forget how she worded it, but something like, "Welcome to 1313."
Yeah. And you and I both kind of gasped.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, shit, those fuckers. Making us remember that we almost had a dope video game only for it to get canceled. And
like a live action TV.
Wait, what?
I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Yeah. So for some context, I think we did talk about the video game in a past episode, I believe.
Right.
But so for some context, 1313 was a video game that was in production, allegedly similar in style to Uncharted. Which I guess we kind of sort of got in Jedi Fallen Order. But
kind of.
This was essentially where Ahsoka's at. It was level 1313. Which is below Coruscant. Like, Coruscant is essentially a planet where, like, cities kind of just built on top of each other, right?
Right.
It's such a sprawling, humongous planet.
Right.
And 1313 was apparently where the video game was going to take place, on that level, and it involved bounty hunters, and then there was an accompanying TV show, and George Lucas got involved, and it got canceled, and then Disney bought the TV show got canceled, and the Disney bought the Lucasfilms, and then Disney canceled the 1313. So we had to wait 6 years, 7 years for a fucking good video game.
I do not remember the TV show aspect of it at all.
The idea, so and apparently this is like early stages, so I don't think it really got off the ground, if at all. There was rumors that it was going to be kind of like a Soprano style show, which would have been awesome.
Oh, I do remember hearing about like more of a mature rated live action Star Wars show, but that was like a long
Yeah, it was like 2009,
time
2010.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And the video game was much later than that,
It
right?
was they were being planned at the same time. The video game actually had a working, so that they were going to be coming out together around the same time as what was planned. They were kind of going to key off of each other. I don't know if the TV show really got much traction, but I mean they had a working demo and shit for the video game. They had
Yeah.
also that was in the works for a couple of years before it got canceled. We talked about it on another podcast, but the book Blood, Sweat, and Pixels it
Yes.
details a lot about this, so definitely recommend that.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely they demoed it at E3. It was like a 10-minute long demo.
Yeah, and apparently after that demo, George Lucas was like, "Let's make this about Boba Fett," and they're
That's right.
"What? No, we just made this like this engine, and now we have to re-fucking write it, essentially." So,
Yep, I remember that.
interesting, dive into 1313. So, I thought that was a cool nod. I'm sure that was intentional.
I have no doubt that it was intentional. So she gets down to 1313, right? She crashes her piece of shit bike and then meets this new character, Trace Martinez.
I actually don't remember the last name.
I think it was Martinez. Let's
Makes
go
sense.
let's go with Martinez.
All right.
And she offers to help her fix her bike, right?
Really nice person. Like my impression of 1313 is that it's the slums. There's a lot of bad actors down there, but first person Ahsoka runs into is this fucking really nice, generous person that really wants to help her out. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, not the idea that I had of 1313 at all. Also, it's not Martinez, it's Martez.
Oh, you were close.
Trace Martez. I knew it was something like that. But she offers to help her, and then she tries to act all tough and be like, "Oh, you have to pay me, and I'm not unless you pay me." And then she's like, "All right, well, fuck you, then I'm leaving." And then she comes back, and she's like, "Ah, no, don't worry about it. It's on the house." I'm like, "What is this?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Is this Happy Rainbow Land, or is this 1313 on Planet Coruscant? I don't understand."
She talked about money the whole time, and like, oh, for a price, and then they work on it, and then she just says, "Oh, it's on the house." Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Again, super generous person. But I mean, I actually kind of like Trace. I thought she was an interesting character.
Yeah.
They did have a little squabble there. Not like physical or anything, but Ahsoka tells her that she lived on the upper levels. She never mentions she's a Jedi. She keeps that under wraps. Still uses her real name, like we said earlier. And then they get into a discussion about the Jedi.
And Ahsoka's still like trying to, even though she walked away from the Order and doesn't like believe in what they're doing, she's still defending them, right?
Exactly.
Because Trace is like, "Oh, the Jedi started this war," and Ahsoka's like, "They didn't start the war.
They
They
didn't
tried
start
to,
the war.
yeah, like they're trying to end it. They tried to prevent it. Blah 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 blah." So she's clearly not completely cut herself off from the idea of the Jedi yet.
Yeah, and I think that like kind of also ties into what Ahsoka or why she left, right? I think Trace said something along the lines of, it doesn't matter. They've forgotten about us, like the people underneath. And I think that is a thing. One of the reasons why Ahsoka left, if I'm not mistaken, they kind of summarized that with Barriss Offee and that whole thing. But like the Jedi Order wasn't what she thought it was.
Right. Exactly. Like there's all of these other less fortunate, quote unquote, small people that just kind of get overlooked, and the Jedi are supposed to be keepers of peace, and not one-sided, I guess, but they're supposed to think about everyone. And her being down there in 1313, I think, is again validating her decision to leave the Jedi because they're like, oh, well, clearly the Jedi aren't as good as I thought because they don't even come down here. They don't even help the people who need it the most.
Exactly. I think that's probably gonna, reinforce her decision. She's gonna.
For
I think she's gonna
for
walk away
sure.
from this and be like, yeah, that's why I left.
For sure.
But it doesn't take long for her to essentially show some of her talent
Oh,
off, right?
yeah, we see these aliens that I've never
Rather
seen.
new looking aliens,
Yeah, I've never seen
all
that
of them.
species before.
And two of them were like Cyclops, like they had
Right.
one eye, which was
Right.
I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're looking for a character named Rafa. They walk
Mhm.
in saying, "Where's Rafa? She owes us money." We don't
Yep.
really know who Rafa is at this point, and Trace is like, "Yo, like I'm not gonna pay you because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And then they get into a little scuffle, physical altercation.
Yep, and Ahsoka just kinda sits back at first, right? She's like, "Nope, not getting involved. You."
Well, both of them tell like the person that came in, that was like the thug. I don't remember what his name was. Is threatening Trace, and Ahsoka says, I want you better leave, sort of thing. And they both turn around and say, "Stay out of this." And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna stay out of this."
Right, and she does for a little while, and then, Trace starts getting her ass kicked, and then she's like, "Okay, why don't you jump in and help?" And then, obviously, Ahsoka kicks the living hell out of these, 2 thugs without using the Force at all.
Just being a badass,
Yep,
using her sweet martial arts skills.
right. Something that threw me, like, a little bit later when Trace asks her, like, where she learned to fight like that, and Ahsoka said her brother, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know Ahsoka had a brother." I'm like, "Oh, wait." She's talking about Anakin. Duh.
Yep. Yeah, I guess that is kind of like a brother sister relationship. You know.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. That's the whole point between master and apprentice, right? Like, that's is your family.
Yeah. So what she said is true
I mean,
from
to
a
a point,
certain
yeah.
point of view. Sorry, I couldn't pass that up. Yeah. So they eventually leave. They find this Rafa person, which ends up being Trace's sister. So Rafa Martez, I'm assuming.
Yep,
And she seems like she's kind of the scummy type, like looking for the
the
you
easy
know
money.
the easy money. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't care how to get it, how they get it, and apparently she owes a lot of people some money.
Right.
So then a Twi'lek comes in. She says that they have some sort of deal going on. I don't really remember the details, but
They
it kind of
the
kicks into the next
the
scene.
the Twi'lek keeps saying my business partner, like all like sketchy like. 'Cause my business partner said that he has a deal with you to build droids for us. And we find out that what kind of looks like a laundromat at first, what they're standing in is just kind of a front for what her real business is. And there's a quote unquote droid shop in the back of this place, and she builds droids, I guess, or her sister builds the droids for her. I'm not really sure what Rafa does. To be honest, it sounds like Trace is the one doing all of the important shit.
That's true. Yeah, it's like Rafa just kind of takes advantage. She's the business side, and Trace is the manufacturing side, the side that actually gets stuff
Yeah,
done. I don't
right,
know,
right, exactly. And Trace is the one with the conscience.
and the talent.
Yes, right, right. So they've got these droids, these 3 droids that were brought in that they're supposed to repair, build, or whatever the fuck. And it doesn't take long for Ahsoka to recognize what kind of droids they are.
Yeah, they were building. She's like, "Wait, you're building binary load lifters or something like that?"
Yes.
And apparently, it's like a repurposed demolition droid that has violent tendencies.
Right. So they're rebuilding them. They have restraining bolts on. So there's 3 of them, right? They have restraining bolts on 2 of them at this point, I think.
And well, one of them goes to attack Ahsoka, but she turns on the restraining thing, so it stops, right? And,
Right.
and saving her life, maybe. Well, she wouldn't have died anyway, but you know what I mean.
Which also what confused me was that one that attacked Ahsoka, she turned it on. And then it attacked her, and then she hit the restraining, like turned the restraining bolt on, and stopped. The other one that didn't have the restraining bolt on turned itself on. Like nobody hit that button.
I don't think I noticed that. That's a good
I was
call out there.
because they were like, oh, good thing you had the restraining bolt on it. And then all of a sudden the other one turns on. I'm like, wait a minute, how the fuck did that thing turn on? the hell's going on?
Huh. Maybe it was faulty, or maybe I have no idea. No
Yeah.
explanation. We
Who
have to
knows?
rewatch it.
Who knows? I did notice that though. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So anyway, it turns itself on. It doesn't have a restraining bolt and starts fucking wreaking havoc, right?
Taking off, running through the streets of 1313. There's, which I find odd with, I don't know, like it's not like the robot or droid crawled up to the upper levels. Like this is all happening within 1313, and there's like just as much traffic down in 1313 as there is up
Oh
above
yeah.
the levels, right? I thought that was kind of interesting. So I guess kind of goes to show how crazy populated Coruscant is.
Can you imagine if COVID-19 was on Coruscant?
Oh god. Well, we can imagine. Well, okay, it's now it's expanded universe, but in the new Jedi Order, the Yuuzhan Vong or whatever, that's kind of like a pandemic across the galaxy, right? And it spreads and takes over Coruscant, and apparently it kills like 1 trillion people alone on Coruscant.
Holy
1 trillion.
Holy shit.
That's a shitload of fucking people, and it probably doesn't even dent the population.
Yeah, only that is a crazy, destructive, and deadly alien race, and not a virus. But I
Yeah,
mean,
that death rate was probably closer to like 60% versus reported 3% here.
right.
Man, it's just hard not to turn it into a conversation about the coronavirus. Which, speaking of which, just so everyone is aware, maybe we're hearing some things, but we are practicing the social distancing. My wife is here. Our dog is a husky, very active, right? He is not appreciating the social distancing. He's being an asshole. So if you start hearing some barking in the background, that's what it's about. It's just because we're trying to make him, get him out and active. But he's not liking this. He's not liking this at all. He misses Sean. He misses you, dude.
Oh, dude, I miss him too, man. Yeah, dude, I can imagine he's probably going fucking nuts.
Yeah, we went for a nice long walk. But anyway, sorry to sidetrack back onto that. Yuuzhan Vong killed a lot of people. Coruscant. So this thing is running around, right, wreaking
Right.
havoc. This what was it? Binary load lifter.
Yes. Demolition droid running through the streets, blowing shit up, destroying crap. So they take off after it. They try to run it down. They get a speeder and they have a tracker on it,
Speeder.
at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
cool.
it's like a forklift speeder.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So they take off after it. They find it, and they eventually grab it and track it down, and then Trace kind of shows, I don't know, to me I was like, oh wow, this person's super talented. Maybe she's got like a little bit of force sensitivity going on, possibly.
Yeah, kind of like how Anakin can ride a speeder or a pod racer, right? He just does it.
Exactly.
It's because the force is kind of flowing through him a little bit, and he, unknowingly is using the force. Maybe something similar with this. Yeah, because she was pretty good driving that through the streets, and
She was driving through the streets, and then when they caught it, it was her that jumped out onto the droid to try to turn it off, and Ahsoka was just like, oh yeah, okay, go for it.
That's a good point. Yeah, Ahsoka just kind of sat back, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm like, dude, you could use the force right now and turn the button off, and no one would even know what the hell happened.
That's what the fuck? The point. So Trace was climbing up the droid, trying to, and Ahsoka even says, yo, push the blue button, like that's gonna turn it off or whatever. And why not just like kind of actually we saw it last week with Mace Windu. He actually did exactly what we're talking about, because the ray shield went over the bomb.
Right. Yep.
He had to use the force to put in the codes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So why the fuck?
Not even a difficult thing for a Jedi to do, like at all.
And it's like she could have just closed her eyes while the Trace was climbing up the droid and just
turned it off,
reached out for the force and just clicked it. Boom, done.
But she didn't. And I guess I'm chalking that up to the fact that Ahsoka's trying to hide that she is a Jedi or was a Jedi. However, so this droid climbs up to like the next level, presumably, right? And Trace finally gets up to its head and turns it off as it's like pulling itself up onto this ledge. And then the droid is off now, so it starts to fall and Trace with it, and it's not a short fall.
Yep, gravity's a cruel mistress.
Cruel, cruel bitch. So she's falling. She's holding on to this droid. Ahsoka uses the speeder. And as she falls past her, she reaches out and grabs the droid, right? But then the droid is too heavy, I guess, and
That's
it
kind of what I
starts
assumed.
it starts taking the speeder over the ledge with it, and Trace is still holding on for dear life to this droid. And I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, oh, Soka's going to use the Force. She has to, right? But she jumps out and grabs the little tow cable, wraps it around a thing, and starts towing it up.
Which works for like 3 seconds before I guess it's not too heavy for the first 3 seconds, but it is too heavy for the next, time. I don't know. But the tow cables reeling in the droid, and then it stops and it starts to fall back again.
Right. And this is the point where Ahsoka's like, well, shit. Guess I gotta whip out my old Force powers.
And she does. She reaches out for the Force, grabs it, pulls it up. Although Trace doesn't see it. I do think did that little kid see it?
Yeah,
Or no?
there's like a young Twi'lek kid, and she definitely sees, because she sees Ahsoka reach out with her hand and the thing moving, and she looks at Ahsoka and sees her hand, and like her eyes like open up really wide. So somebody definitely saw her using the Force for sure.
Which would, she wouldn't want to stick around there because, Order 66 is coming up, and I'm assuming word gets out. The Twi'leks, the little kid is telling his friends, "Oh my god, I'm pretty sure I saw someone using the Force." I'm like, "No, you didn't." And then they tell their mom, and then later on they're like, "Oh my god, the Jedi are bad people. We got to report this shit." So
Right. Exactly. So not a smart move right now, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Trace is saved. They bring the droid back to Rafa. They say, "Yo, this isn't what we signed up for. This is gonna wreak havoc on places if you sell them to this Twi'lek that we were talking about earlier." And Rafa's like, "Look, I'll do the right thing." She
Right.
does not do the right thing.
No. Well, she
Well,
she says she basically Trace is like, just be smart, Rafa. She's like, okay. So she comes back and she's like, hey, got good news. I didn't sell the droids back for the price that they wanted. I sold them back for double the price that they wanted.
I mean, you
So
gotta admit that's some good business right there.
I
Rafa does seem like
mean,
a good businesswoman.
shit. Yeah, it may not be morally right, but like down there on 1313, it sounds like you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, man. Right?
Capitalism, baby.
And again, like her point was, oh, if we didn't do it, somebody else was going to, so might as well capitalize on it if it's going to happen anyway.
Which is kind of true. Yeah. I mean, why
Yeah,
not you make the money over someone else?
exactly.
And
So,
she's able to get double, like Jesus. Now they can pay that thug back, which I think his name, the earlier thug we were talking about, was Pinto. I don't know if
Pinto,
we'll never see him again, probably, but
probably not, no. But yeah, so they pay him back, and then they've got money left over for other shit, I guess. So that happens, and then Ahsoka's like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here now. Later.
actually, how did it end? Is that it? That was it, right?
Yeah. Yep, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty much it.
She was like, I'm out of here. And Trace is like, oh, you're leaving now. Sad. Well, thanks for saving my life. And Soka's like, yeah, no problem.
I don't
Peace.
think I don't think it's gonna be the last we see Trace. I think
I,
we'll probably see her
I don't
again,
think so
probably
either.
next episode.
Yeah.
I don't know about Rafa, but I mean, I like Trace, and just new side character that comes in. Overall, the episode was okay. I think it's nice to see someone other than a storyline involving Echo. I'm kind
Oh
of
my
glad it's more with
God.
Echo.
I'm so
But
glad.
yeah,
I'm so glad we have Ahsoka back, but it's definitely like that was a filler episode. It was
it
kind
was
of a
definitely a filler episode. Yeah. I mean, they don't have very many filler episodes left, so let's
yeah.
move on to this.
I don't know what they're doing. Like, what's with the filler episodes, guys? This is the last season. No more filler episodes. You got to Game of Thrones this shit.
Oh, man.
Except not make it suck.
And oh yeah, goddamn, this is already better than season 8. Let's get that straight of Game of Thrones. But yeah, no, I think there's not a whole lot left, but I'm glad that we're moving on to this, and I think soon things are going to start coming together. If not next week, but one thing we've talked about this in the past, but I kind of wish that they would do a preview of next episode, right? I mean, they have it. They already have it.
Yeah,
So why not show a preview?
yeah, it's all done, right? It's been completed. I don't know why they're not showing previews.
They wait till like Wednesdays, and I don't know. I just think it would be kind of cool to like know what's coming up next week.
Like every other show does, pretty much, on the history of the planet. Like what since when did we
Maybe it's
not get
just like a game, or sorry, a Disney Plus thing, because they didn't do it with Mandalorian either.
That's true, they didn't. Those fuckers. That pissed me off even more.
Yeah. Maybe the folks at Disney Plus will evolve into doing that.
yeah. Aaron, maybe they will.
All right.
So speaking of Mandalorian and Ahsoka,
Woo!
interesting
Yeah,
piece
we should have just
of
kicked off with this. What were we thinking?
ended on a high note, right?
Hell yeah.
Still a rumor at this point. When I read the article, it sounded like, oh yeah, it's been confirmed kind of deal. But the rumor is, pretty strong rumor, I feel like, is that Rosario Dawson was hired and brought on for season 2 of The Mandalorian to play Ahsoka Tano.
Dude, if that is true, I don't even know what to say. I don't know if you remember, there was a while back, several months, maybe like a year or more ago, where she actually tweeted something about this, like how she would love to do that or something like that.
I do remember, and like she's the perfect choice, I feel like, to play. She's going to look exactly like her.
Yeah, she's like, okay, another example of how something like this turned out, and it turned out great, was when everyone was like, oh, you know who would be great as like a young Lando Calrissian? Donald Glover.
And then it happened.
And then it happened, and he fucking nailed it. And I think that's what's going to happen here. First of all, I love Rosario Dawson. I think she's great.
Yeah.
And she will literally look just like fucking Ahsoka, like an older Ahsoka. This is going to be so awesome.
And it's also super exciting when they bring on people to play characters who are like super into like the lore. Like Rosario's like a big nerd, right? Like she's like into all of this shit. So it's always cool when they bring on people who don't just take it like as a job, but are like super passionate about the universe and the storyline and whatever. Like one going back to Game of Thrones, I don't know if you knew this, but the actor who played Stannis Baratheon hated Game of Thrones. He thought it was stupid.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. And when you learn that, you just kind of takes away like, oh, well, then fuck him. I don't really like him that much anymore. It's like, just another job for him. He didn't care about it. Thought the language was dumb. He thought all this shit was dumb. I mean, he did a good job, I think. But that always takes away from it a little bit when you find those kinds of things out. So the fact that
they're just doing it as a job.
Right, exactly.
Paycheck.
Right. And obviously they're getting paid, but they're doing it because they're like super pumped about it.
Yeah, like the enthusiasm does come through a little bit, right?
Yeah, like another one, like when Andrew Garfield got hired as Spider-Man, all of like the press and all the stuff that he did to like promote that, because he was a huge Spider-Man fan, and he was super into it. And I always liked him as Spider-Man.
I didn't mind him.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, he was a little old, but
yeah, that was my main thing. I mean, the current dude is also another. I can't remember his name for Spider-Man, but
Tom Holland is also another big Spider-Man fan too.
Dude. He's like, I want to be in everything. I want to do this. I'm like, hell yeah, man. We all want you to do that too, because you're fucking awesome.
Right.
So I did find a tweet. So this is a tweet from December 28th, 2019. So not that long ago, which shows a picture of Rosario Dawson next to a picture of Ahsoka, and just for reference, Ahsoka Tano would be in her early to mid 40s during The Mandalorian. And Rosario Dawson retweeted it on January 12th, saying, "Tell him #Ahsoka lives." She used #Ahsoka lives.
That's amazing.
Either she was already in on it, meaning this has been in the works for a little bit, or two, or both, not mutually exclusive, but both can be true at the same time. She just knows about Ahsoka and the #Ahsoka lives. She watches the Clone Wars. I'm so fucking excited about this.
Because didn't Dave Filoni didn't he come out like wearing a shirt that says Ahsoka lives or some shit at one point?
Yeah, I mean that was like a big trending thing on Twitter like a long time ago, where like trying to bring back. Oh no, it was during Rebels. I
It
don't
was
know if
during
you remember.
Rebels. Yeah, it was during Rebels when you thought that she died.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I found the original tweet. I remember this being. I said several months ago, but no, several years ago. Literally over 2 years ago, February 6th, my mom's birthday. What up? 2017. The tweet that she's quoting is unavailable. I don't know why. Maybe the person deleted it. But she says, yes, please. Hashtag Ahsoka lives. Hashtag Ahsoka Tano. Hashtag Star Wars.
That's so
2017.
dope.
I remember
That's
seeing
so
this, and
dope.
I remember thinking back then, oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Dude, now we have to go back and watch Rebels before the next
Oh,
season of Mandalorian.
of course, yeah. And I'm gonna have to. I started re-listening to the Ahsoka book, but I'll definitely have to do that before Mandalorian. Now, I hope Mandalorian isn't like postponed or anything because of scenarios going on in the world, but we'll see.
I don't even want to think about that possibility right now.
Yeah. Anyway, so one question I do have now: say Ahsoka, or say this is true, which fucking please be true.
Please
Now
God.
that this is true, here's a question I have because, um, speaking of like the enthusiasm from the actors and stuff like that, right?
Right.
You know who's really enthusiastic about Star Wars?
I mean, lots of actors.
Ashley Eckstein. You know who Ashley Eckstein is? The voice
Yeah,
of
she's the
Ahsoka.
voice. Yeah, she's the
She
voice.
has
Yep.
like a women in Star Wars like apparel line and stuff like that. She's like a champion for women in Star Wars and women
Right.
in general, and it's really nice. And I think she is Ahsoka, right? She
Yeah.
narrated the book. When you
Right.
hear Ahsoka, you hear her, right?
Right.
So do they have Rosario Dawson play like the body and the face, but then have Ashley Eckstein voice her, or does Rosario Dawson do everything?
I think Rosario Dawson does everything. I think she's too high profile of an actress to. Well, I don't know though, because she's super passionate, so she might agree to just be like, "Yeah, I'll be the face of her, and let's stay true to the voice and have Ashley Eckstein do it." I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I feel like I can see it going both ways, and honestly, I don't know.
Would you prefer?
Yeah,
Honestly,
see,
I think I would prefer Ashley Eckstein do the voice, just because I. But then here's the thing: this is also later in life. This is 30 years later, whatever. Well, I don't remember in what time period Rebels takes place,
yeah,
but
see, that's what I want to know. That's what I want to like do a little bit more digging on
do
because
the
like so
math.
like exactly. Because like how old is Ahsoka supposed to be in Clone Wars? Do you know?
I mean, an apprentice. She could be at any stage of the
And she
apprenticeship.
well, and
Apprenticeship? I don't know.
she's still a Padawan, right? She's not even a Jedi Knight.
Oh yeah, no, she's. I mean, she's. I almost said Obi-Wan, but Anakin's. Padawan, right? So,
Padawan, right?
and she could be at any stage of that, but which I wouldn't know. I
Yeah,
don't know which stage she is. I mean,
right.
there's probably people yelling at their phones right now, like, "Oh, you idiot! It's she's so and so," or like,
Yeah, whatever. That I do want to like figure that out though because that's super interesting. So like how old is she now versus how old is she in Rebels, and then like how much time between the end of Rebels and this next season is supposed to have like taken place? Like, do you at least know that? Do you know like how the time between like Order 66 and Mandalorian? Because
Order
I don't.
66 and Mandalorian. So Mandalorian, I believe, is 9 years after Episode 6. So that would be 19 years before Episode 4 was Order 66, and four. So then it's 1 year.
So
No, 3 years, 1 year.
how many
So
years
4
is
years.
it from episode 4 to episode 6?
So 13 plus 19. It's like 30 some.
And that's 30 some years on top of how old she already is during Order 66.
Correct. Yeah. So okay. Yes, Mandalorian is 9 years ABY. Let's see. Rebels timeline is between around 5 years prior to the events of Episode 4. So Rebels is approximately 5 years ABY. So that would be about 14 years later. So she's 13.
No. Wait, I thought you said Rebels is before Episode 4.
Yeah. Sorry, it is. It is.
So it's not 4 years ABY. It's
Oh,
It's 4
BBY.
years BBY.
BBY. Yes. Sorry, I just misspoke.
Okay. So it's what, 13 years then
About
between the end of Rebels and Mandalorian. So she's aged 13 years, so her voice could be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I can't remember Rosario Dawson's voice if it's like deeper, but I could see it being like a little deeper.
It is deeper than Ashley Eckstein's voice is, but it's not that deep. You know what I mean?
So man, I like when I saw that. Actually saw that first on Facebook. One of our friends, Matt Turk, shout out. I don't know if he listens, but I was like, hell yeah! Oh God, I want this to happen so badly.
Yeah.
So if it turns out to be some rumor or like some fake bullshit, some actual fake news, I'm gonna be pissed. But it did come from Slash Film, which like is a pretty reputable website, if I'm not mistaken. Like I've frequented Slash Film before.
That would be so awesome if they put her. Just if they bring back Ahsoka in general. I mean, I think Rosario is a perfect fit for it, but just bring it back. What?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. Okay, so some things. The last person we know that has the Darksaber is Darth Maul, right? If I'm not mistaken. Oh no, you're right.
Grand Moff Gideon.
I meant before Grand Moff. So what I'm saying is, and we also know,
no, it's not Sabine Wren. She gives it. Yeah, she gives it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going through that in my head, but also what I'm getting at is that we have a bit of a history between Ahsoka and Maul. Maul having had the Darksaber at one point. Kind of would make sense that she, runs into the Darksaber again. Now think about this for a second. What color are her lightsabers in Rebels?
They're white.
White versus black lightsaber battle.
Dude, that would be sweet as fuck. Although it wouldn't be much of a battle if it's Ahsoka against Grand Moff Gideon.
Yeah. I mean,
Ahsoka's a fucking amazingly powerful Force user. She'll destroy him.
Gus can cook some mad chicken, but he cannot withstand Ahsoka. Come on, let's
no fucking way, dude. I mean, Din Djarin is a badass, and he wouldn't even be able to last very long against Ahsoka. She's a Jedi. I mean, come on.
Very true. So anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up all we have to talk about today.
Ooh, actually, you know what?
Do you have something? What up?
I do. I had another thought because the story about why Ahsoka's lightsabers are white, right?
Refresh our listeners' memories, not mine.
I can't remember all the details, but it's something like she cleanses the crystals of Darth Maul's lightsabers. Or his lightsaber, and which is why they become white. And I'm thinking we might get to see that happen in this last season of Clone Wars because she fights him.
Yes.
So that could be fucking sweet if they end up showing us that, like what happens with that.
Actually, well, okay. Here's the thing. I wonder if this was actually talked about in the book because I don't really.
It was because I feel like my brother talks to me about it, and he read the book.
Yeah, so she actually gets. So according to Wikipedia, actually I think this is she gets the kyber crystals used in the lightsabers 1 year after the Clone Wars, so about the time of the book. And I remember now that she is hiding, and the sixth brother does find, like, is the bad guy in the book.
Oh, it's the brother that she does it.
Yeah, so she killed during the Imperial occupation of Rada. The crystals originally emitted a red lightsaber. She purified them from the darkness tainting them.
Okay, so it was one of the brothers, not Darth Maul. Okay, never mind. I was wrong, but
man, they missed an opportunity there to kind of tie the Rebels and Clone Wars together a little bit. I think with the white lightsabers,
that would have been dope.
Would have been dope. But, I'm sure they have something special planned here with
God, I hope so. I hope so. I just want to see something sweet, dude. And we haven't really seen anything super sweet yet.
Not yet. Which, so I have opened the IMDb page, and next week's episode is titled Deal or No Deal. So I think it's probably going to start off with Howie Mandel coming out.
I was just going to say that.
No, so I don't know. We'll see what next week is. I wonder if it's going to be political, like deal or no deal. Like, is there some sort of like treaty going on or something? And then I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope we don't get any more of these filler. There's not many episodes left. We don't need filler episodes. We need story.
Yeah, so there's 12 listed on the IMDb page. So we have 7 left.
Right.
Next week we'll be halfway through the season already. Can you believe that? God damn, halfway.
I know, dude. They need to get the ball rolling, man. They really do. Like season 6 only had 12 too, and those episodes were dope. Like almost all of them were dope.
Dude, all right, real quick. I'm going to go through some of the names of the upcoming episodes. They don't have all of them, but they have some of them. So next week is Deal or No Deal. The following week, April 3rd, is Dangerous Debt. April 10th is Together Again. April 17th.
Together Again. Is that Ahsoka and Anakin?
Anakin? Oh God, please. I want to see a reunion.
Oh, I feel like we're going to get the reunion.
We have to, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Then let's see. The next one, April 17th, will be Old Friends Not Forgotten. And this is the last.
Old Friends Not Forgotten. Ooh, maybe a Qui-Gon Jinn ghost? Or
well, they kind of go into that in season 6, right? Where Qui-Gon is talking to Yoda, right?
Yeah, they do. And I think he talks to Obi-Wan a little bit too in season 6. I always liked Qui-Gon Jinn. It would be cool to see him pop back up. Or maybe Old Friends Not Forgotten. Maybe Hondo Onaka.
Ooh. Yeah, I want to see more of him. Was he in one yet?
In one of the episodes this season?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No.
And then the final episode title that is available will be episode 10 on April 24th. This one I like. This is the only one that has the image with it, and it's an image of Darth Maul holding a double-bladed lightsaber.
Yeah, so that means he got his double-bladed lightsaber back.
Hell yeah!
Because didn't he have only like half of his red one, and then he had the dark saber?
I think so.
Am I remembering that correct?
Same. So yeah. So season 7, episode 10. I like the name of this. It's called The Phantom Apprentice.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And the last time, it's interesting. It's The Phantom Apprentice. And it's got a picture of Darth Maul, because the last time we see him, he just got his ass kicked by Sidious. And Sidious specifically said, "I'm not going to kill you. I have something much bigger planned for you."
Oh my God. That's a great point. He's like a side apprentice to Darth Maul, or to Darth Sidious now.
To Darth Sidious, maybe. Yeah, I think that's kind of what they're referring to here. At least that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great point.
Well, I am pretty smart, Aaron.
You are a genius.
What else we got to talk about?
We done? That pretty much wraps it up. Yeah, I got to eat some dinner, man. It's like 9 p.m.
Yeah, I should probably do that too. Shit.
All right. So, well, you don't have anything? I don't have anything.
I don't got anything else, man. I'm excited about the next episode. Hopefully, it's more exciting.
Yeah, I feel like this happens a lot. Game of Thrones did this a lot of filler episodes. You got to set it up. I think Mandalorian did. I think Mandalorian did a little bit better, where like each episode was still like super entertaining.
Yes,
and then they tied it together in the end. So I'm sure they're going to tie it all together, and the last several episodes will be just mind bending. I'm sure.
However, the thing is, you don't need to set anything up with this. We know what's going to happen. We know the story, the basic overall story already, right?
That is a good point.
You don't need to set it up. You only got a few episodes left. This has been going on for 7 seasons now. This is in between 2 movies that we already know what's going to happen in the end. We don't need the setup, bro. Just give us, just give us the Give us the
Very good
cool
point.
shit.
All right. Well, we will. Dude, I'm so proud of us. We did this on the night of. This is gonna get out tomorrow,
I know.
and I'm super excited. Yeah. So this is Friday, March 20th. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thanks for listening, everybody. We're like I said, our numbers are steadily climbing. We're already almost at 2,000. Like we'll probably hit that probably this weekend. So I'm really excited about continuing this. And if you guys have any feedback, we're actually looking for our first email. Send us an email, RoTKast@gmail.com.
Hell yeah.
Hit us up on Twitter. We're trying to be a little bit more active there. And yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else?
I mean, maybe this virus will be good for our numbers. People don't have shit else to do but listen to podcasts and whatnot.
Yep. But hopefully the numbers drop in terms of death rates. But outside of that,
well, obviously.
all right. Well, Sean, it was a pleasure doing this again remotely as always. I had a great time. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode.
Catch you guys on the next one.
Later.
Peace.